Ah, the cash buyer, every seller's dream. But mortgage-free isn't necessarily problem-free. So here's our guide to what you need to know. By the way, cash buyer or not, if you're selling, you'll want to make sure you've got an experienced, qualified estate agent on your side. These guys are going to be your best ally when it comes to sussing out who really is the best buyer for your home. Look for the PROPERTYMARK logo because that tells you a lot about an agent's professionalism and high standards. There's a link with this episode to help you find one. So, let's start with exactly what cash buyer means. Well, it's simply someone who can buy a property without the need for a mortgage or loan. The money to buy your home is ready and waiting at the time they make an offer. There are a couple of major advantages to this. Firstly, they don't need to sell a property in order to be able to buy yours. Property chains are notoriously difficult to manage, and because everyone in the chain needs to be able to complete their sale at the same time, getting all those ducks in a row can be tricky. It typically results in delays, and if one sale falls through, the whole chain can collapse. So a cash buyer shortens the chain, and in theory, this can make the sale more certain. It's the same kind of appeal that selling to a first-time buyer has, with another significant plus. A cash buyer doesn't need to secure a mortgage. Getting a mortgage involves the lender agreeing to loan the buyer enough money for the purchase. Not only that, but they have to agree to lend the money on your specific property. If the lender thinks the asking price is too high, or if they're concerned about the condition of the property, they might not agree to lend the full amount. Result? Your buyer's likely to have to withdraw their offer. Even if all is well, just getting the surveys and paperwork through isn't a quick process, so a cash buyer who doesn't have to worry about a lender is likely to be able to move more quickly. In fact, selling to a cash buyer means the sale could go through in a matter of weeks, rather than the average of 3 months that traditional sales take. This is particularly good news if you need to move quickly. And it's worth remembering that the longer a sale takes to complete, the more likely it is to fall through. So speed is usually a win-win. However, I do want to sound a couple of notes of caution. Cash buyers are, of course, aware that they have an advantage and may well put a price on that in terms of a lower offer. As a seller, you might be fine with this. A speedy, secure sale can sometimes be more appealing than top dollar. But if you want to get the best possible price, selling to a cash buyer may not produce it. The other thing you unfortunately need to be aware of is that scammers sometimes disguise themselves as cash property buyers. It's rare, but it does happen. This is where your qualified PROPERTYMARK estate agent comes in because it's their responsibility to check the financial status of anyone making an offer. And do, of course, make sure you have a good solicitor on board who will demand proof of funds and provide legal advice every step of the way. A cash buyer certainly removes some of the stumbling blocks of selling, but not all. There can still be delays or disputes even after an offer has been accepted, so don't assume that you can relax and take your eyes off the ball. Nurture the sale and your cash buyer as you would any other buyer, and you'll be able to make the most of having a loan-free purchaser.